Hi friends, good morning. I'm Sankalp, founder and CEO of Frigus Technologies. Uh, Let me just give you a background about myself. I am a computer science graduate from one of the engineering colleges in Bhopal and worked as a business development professional for the international market in Chandigarh and Noida in very different companies. After that, since I was working into the international market, so it was really a good experience. But I thought it is not fulfilling the dream which I had in my mind since I joined my engineering, and that was starting something of my own. So that was the idea which was already in my mind to do something of my own. And keeping this thing in my mind, I started my company back in 2016 December by the name of Frigus Technologies. Uh, the reason behind starting that company was just one, and that was helping the client in a manner where I can give him the best quality product. So while I was working into the international market, my job was to get international projects of someone who is interested in development of web applications, mobile applications, CRM, ERPs, and my company was doing all those projects. But something was there in my mind which I found difficult from the client side, that every company is not providing genuine products and services to the clients, and the client being a non-technical person, it is very very difficult for him to develop that product. So consider you as a person who is going to buy a property, right? New land into a new city. So I am not sure, like, we guys are not aware of all the perspectives of what type of land should be, what type of property it should be, what should be the rate, and all those stuff. So we need someone who can tell us all those points which the builder or the property seller is not telling us. Being a part of that software company, I found the same thing into the software industry as well. We were telling the same thing to the client, okay, we can do this, that, but nobody was there to tell them, okay, is it good to develop this kind of solution or no? Keeping this thing in my mind, this was a motivation behind starting something of my own. I had this thing in my mind: when I'll start my company, my only goal will be to guide the customer in such a way that he should be feeling me like his family, and he should be telling everything, and I should be helping on a top level. So I started myself as a Frigus Technology. So my tagline is, we are a bridge between client and software companies. So by this tagline, you can understand what we exactly do. We basically take care of all the client's pain and get it implemented in a easiest manner. So let me give an example so that I would be able to explain it in one better way. For example, if you have to start your own business in form of technology, like any app or any business idea you are having, you want to get it developed. So what do you do right now? You do some research by yourself on that idea, and you prepare a plan. After that, what do? You find out the best software company who is providing, who can develop this. Now finding out the best software company is the biggest challenge, because you might not be a technical person. You might not be aware like what type of qualities these guys are doing. Well, you might not be aware of, okay, whether should I go ahead with this concept or no? What should be the cost of the product? What should be resource? What type of resource should be allocated on this concept? There are various things. So now when you go to a software company and speak to them and tell them, okay, I want to start this, they'll come up with the solution. Okay, yes, we can do this thing, and this will be the overall cost. But was that the only goal which you're looking for? You may not, maybe, right? So the goal which you may be interested in is, somebody should be there who can tell you whether this idea is feasible or not, whether you should go ahead with this idea or not, what extra functionality should be implemented into that idea to make it unique. You can't just go ahead and create a replica of Flipkart or Amazon or Uber, right? Because it is already there. What are your chances of going into the market and competing with them? The chances are very rare. So you need someone who will tell you what type of concept should be designed, what type of functionality should be designed, then what should be the cost of the product. Again, that's the biggest challenge, because if you go to a software company, they'll give you, okay, what's your budget? You'll tell, okay, my budget is $10,000. So they'll come up with a cost of $9,000 or $11,000, close to it, right? But are you really aware that, okay, this product will be going to cost this much? No. So it's a virtual world where we can quote to any cost, but the result might not be the same at all the from all the companies. So keeping all these things in my mind, our company is completely focused on this particular thing of helping startups, small entrepreneurs, whether it's a student, right, whether it is anybody. We are helping them to start the organization, to implement the idea on such a manner that they are getting the best market research on their idea, they are getting the product on their budget, they are getting good team allocated on their project, and that's how we move ahead. Now, this is about me, all right, and my company. Now I'll just talk about the first point, which is startup and its definition. If you Google it, you'll find different definitions of a startup. But being an entrepreneur myself, I believe that the actual definition of startup is, so there's a difference between startup and new business. Every new business is not a startup. This is what I believe. The actual definition of startup is something which is helping someone in resolving any problem. It should be any sort of problem. So let's take an example. Why Flipkart is called as startup? Why Oyo has been is called as a startup? So Flipkart, what exactly they are doing? They are helping the customers, or we person like us, to get the products, the desired product delivered at our home. So it is solving a problem. You don't need to go anywhere to the market and buy something physically. It is automating the overall process and helping you in getting the product delivered to your doorstep, and that too on cash on delivery. And since I'm talking about Flipkart, I would also like to add one more point. Why Flipkart became so popular in India? Because, in India, when people did not had any trust on that, on any product delivery thing, Flipkart came up with a cash on delivery model back in 2009 or 10, right? That's what their USP. They started delivering on cash on delivery, keeping the trust on their Indian audience, and that's how it became popular. That is why it is called startup, because it is solving a problem. The other thing is Oyo rooms. It is getting you best rooms with great quality in a very lesser cost. Again, it's, if you go to any hotel randomly, they'll tell you, okay, this will be going to cost you 3,000 rupees per night. Oh, really? And the room will be not that suite room or something like that. It's a normal room. So considering this problem, Oyo rooms came into the picture and started something which gave them a boost, and which is helping, so-called Aam Aadmi to book the hotels and get best rooms on board. And now it became so popular that it is starting into different countries. Another, Ola. It's a taxi booking application, right? So initially, now anybody can book a cab, enjoy a AC ride in just couple of $100, right? Isn't it it wasn't it a major problem which these guys are solving? It's a major problem, right? Along with that, initially when you are looking into this, if you have to book a taxi like 10 years back, it's so costly. They are not reliable. There was no trust that, okay, they'll say, okay, I have to go to airport, come at 3 a.m. into the morning. There is no guarantee that these guys will come. But when Ola came into the picture, they ensured that, okay, if you are booking from our platform, it will be cheapest, safest, and guaranteed ride which we are providing. So similarly, from my point of view, startup is something which is focused on solving a problem and not on earning the money only. Here's a difference which we need to understand. Earning a money from, if I have to earn money, I am starting a shop. My focus is only on getting more clients on board and getting more money on board, right? That's what my focus is. But with startup, You cannot move ahead with that focus. Startup is only focused on uh, solving a problem. So there is a famous dialogue in Three Idiots, right? It says that you have to follow the excellence and money will follow you, something like that, right? So this is what exactly happens into startups. If you are focusing on solving a problem, money will follow you for sure, right? But you have to ensure that you are not running behind money initially, but you are running behind solving a problem. It's a biggest difference of a new business and a startup. So I hope you guys have understood the uh, definition of the startup. So simple definition is, if you are starting something to help someone socially to solving any problem, any kind of problem can be called as a startup. And it's not only a technology startup, it's anything. If you're creating a drone camera, right, drone, the flying drone, right, that can also be a startup, right? If you are starting a fashion designing boutique where you are helping people in their regular dressing sense and upgrading it, that can be a startup. If you are starting a saloon, and that saloon is focusing on giving you, extremely beautiful and creative hairstyles by giving something unique, that is also called a startup. So this is a simple definition of startup. Now, the next point which I would like to talk on about, obviously I've told you about startup. Now, what was my learning and what are the insights of a startup? So I'll tell you guys, when I started my company in 2016 December, I started with a good motivation that, okay, this model is really, really good and people are going to accept me. And from the day one, I'm getting a lot of projects and, you know, I'll become rich very soon. This was the mindset uh, being a youngster, I would say, right? We have this thing in our mind that, okay, in 2 years, I'll make something else. But the reality is, when I started my business, I found that it is not that easy to get the business on board. Why? Because initially, when I was working as an international business manager, it was very, very easy for me to bring a project on board because the company reputation was there, the level of confidence was there, their level of clientele were there, and there were so many things involved into when you work with a big company. But when you have something of your own, you just have that idea. You are focusing on that idea, and that idea you have to sell into the market. Some people may accept it, people may reject it. So after starting in December, I struggled for almost 6 months without any project. There was no project for first 6 months, which means I may have to shut down my startup because I'm not getting enough business. And this thing has happened. It's a story which I have not told to anybody, but I'm sharing here. When so there was a time when I was about to quit this, right? But before quitting that, because there was some financial issues going on, but before quitting that, I thought, okay, I have 3 days left or 4 days left, so I should work hard. So that was only one time when I continuously working for next 36 or 48 hours. I continuously worked there. In that time, I realized that this is a karo and maro kind of situation, do or die, right? So in do or die, if you get this type of situation, you only do. There are the chances of die becomes very, very less, right? This is what my experience says, and this is what the learning. So I focused on that. I said that, okay, I have 3 4 days left, let me try and work something out. So I approached all of my client, everything. Something should be there. So I was in discussion with few clients. I told them, okay, I want this business, I'll give you the best thing, just have a discussion with me. And fortunately, because of my hard work, I've got a couple of projects in those 3 4 days. From there, I got this belief, okay, really, this is happening, this is what I'm expecting. And from there on, I have never faced such problem. That was the only time when I faced a problem, and when I move on to that, there is no such problem. So after that, we started from Bhopal as our first location. Now, in next year, 2017, in August, we started in Bangalore. So we have an office in Bangalore, Whitefield, and then we started in November 2018 in Hyderabad, Banjara Hills. So we have three offices into the country, and the business is going really great. Why I'm sharing this learning is because when we start something, the level of patience, the level of trust on yourself, the level of belief should be there. That okay, whatever you are doing, just start something with a belief, like a train. If the train starts, it cannot come back on the same track. It has to go right like that, and it has to move ahead. Similarly, you have to plan out your career, your thinking when you are planning to start something, so that you are going in such a way that people you are not getting demoralized or demotivated at any point of time. That was the learning which I've got. So if you have anything in your mind, if you want to do it, just do it without thinking much on it, and do work as hard as possible. That's what my recommendation would be. Now the third point is, how can we plan a product? So it's a one of my favorite point which I would like to explain is, uh, what is product planning basically? Uh, is it something, okay, we want to do this that? Okay, for example, if I want to start something into, let's say, e-commerce domain. So what is the product planning? I want to sell bottles. I want to sell anything, any plastic material, something like that. What type of planning should be there into that product? Is it only technology, is it from only technology point of view? Is it only from business point of view? Is it what? So I'll tell you how would I plan a product. For example, I have to start a business where I want to sell only plastic materials like bottles, plastic sunglasses, plastic bottles, plastic mugs, whatever it is. So how would I plan a product is, first of all, the first question comes is, what exactly I'm going to sell. So these are 5 items I'm going to sell. The first step of the planning is, how would I get those products on board? Either I should have those products which I am selling, which may be a thing which I have to look into, or I should arrange from somewhere. So being a startup, I cannot afford to have it in my place. So maybe I am just arranging someone. So I'll probably speak to some of the sellers who are doing this particular thing. So, and I'll assure them, okay, my team will come and pick from your shop and get it delivered to the client. So they might agree with you, right? So first thing is, you have to arrange the sellers, because who is selling what the product which we are selling. The second thing would be, if the sellers are being arranged, what type of customers are you looking into? I'm just talking about business planning right now, not the product, not the technology planning, right? So what type of customers should be targeted? So first is obviously any a number of customer who is interested in buying bottles, cups, mug, whatever it is. That's one part. Second is, can we create some strategy through which we are selling something in bulk? Yes, we can have retailers sign up into our application as a customer who can buy our products on bulk in a minimum cost in different parts of the country. So we are getting bulk orders. I can define some packages to sell my products. This is what the business planning is happening. Where, which city should I start with, right? That is also comes into the, so product planning is basically a planning on the technology side as well as planning on the business side. So here I'm telling about the business planning thing. What city should I start? What type of audience should I get? What type of people are available there? Are they Android based or iOS based? So that I should plan my technology, right? So after doing business planning, the most important part is revenue planning. Okay, this much I am spending right now, this much I am expecting in next 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, and 6 months, and a 1 year. So there should be a clear projection of that, a product. That okay, my product is going to earn 10 lakh rupees into next this many months. This is what the planning should be. Once that business planning is framed out, you must write a business plan. Okay, how are you going to do the marketing? How are you going to do the sales? Whatever you feel, just write it down. Write it down. Writing down something is very, very important, because the idea, our mind is something like, you get all the creative ideas but you forget it very soon. So you need to ensure that you're writing down. So that's the business planning. Now, coming to the technology planning of it, product technology planning. This is very important. Like I was telling you, if you have to sell it, you have to design a website and a mobile application, because mobile application are now more familiar nowadays. Everybody is more interested towards mobile application. So for example, or website even, if you go for that, you need to decide if you are targeting launching the product probably in India, right? And you have limited budget. So you have to choose a technology through which you can start. So probably you can start with a website and an Android app. Because why? Because you will find more Android users in India rather than iOS, right? We will surely work on iOS as well, but without before that, we should start with Android version along with the website. What type of features should be there? What type of responsiveness should be there? The website should be compatible on all the browsers, whether it is Safari, Google Chrome, Mozilla, everything. The website should be responsive. What responsive means is, so you remember initially when we were loading a website like 4 years back, it was taking too much of time to load the application and give you the overall data, right? Because the functionality was like that. It loads the overall website and present it to you. Now this is not happening. If you are writing www.flipkart.com, they are just giving you front page only, which is a static. So it can be, it is being loaded ASAP, right, in just couple of seconds. So that's what the technology level planning is there, right? So product planning, I would say, from business point of view, if it is clear, if the business, from the business point of view, it is making money, it is worth spending on it. That's what I would recommend to you guys. Because sometimes what happens is we plan a business, we start it, but there is no such business planning involved in it. We think that okay, from technology point of view, we'll develop the product, but are we clear on our target audience, target market, who all our sellers would be, who all our customers would be, what type of margins we are getting, how are we going to make money? For example, we are going to make 10,000 or 12,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees a month. What are our expenses against it? So these things are very, very important. So for a startup, product planning is very, very important. I myself devoted almost 5 months on just doing nothing but planning the product from a business point of view and from a technology point of view. Then after I started this business, it happened. So I was in my job and I had this thing in my mind and I started working on my startup, and then I planned it, and then I started it. Now, the product is being planned from business point of view and technology point of view. Now the next point is what kind of modern technologies we can use into the system to make it more familiar and to make it more compatible or competitive as per the industry today. So I'll just explain you with few examples, not much. You must have heard of cross platform development technology. So that is something. Initially what you had to do is you had to create two separate apps for Android one and iOS. Means expenses are twice, means timing is twice, you need to spend two times of money, two times of resources, everything. Now the technology is on that level that there is a new technology of cross platform. You just develop one app and it will be compatible on iOS, Android, and Windows probably, right? So this is something, a new technology which came up, which you should adopt to if you are planning to start something in a smaller budget. This comes under a modern technology. Another thing, now you must have heard of the name of chatbots. So what chatbots does is, it's a virtual assistant available on the website. You just type hello, they'll respond it hello. There are some questions pre-feeded. All right, so it's a chat bot, the bot robot basically. So it's a website bot. He's talking to you, so you don't need a full-time resource to be sitting on it. It's a modern technology. You just automated that process, means you have saved the cost. There is someone sitting on the website and responding on your behalf. That is what is very, very important. So modern technologies, what exactly we are implementing, what type of languages, programming languages we are using, what type of payment services we are using. So nowadays the payment gateways are coming into different this thing options. Like you can implement multiple payment providers into it, so that the payment is coming, it should be circulated to different modes at one place. There are shipping APIs came in, like if you're delivering e-commerce project, you can track it on this thing on your application. How? Because shipping companies have came up with the technology of tracking APIs. So you are integrating that tracking APIs into the system so that you can track it. I am explaining most of the things from the e-commerce angle because I have this assumption that everybody are everybody must be using Flipkart or Amazon or something like that. So it is very easy to understand. The another modern technology is implementing of SMS gateway or implementing of maps into the system. There are different things which we can integrate to automate the overall scope. The whole idea behind this is, if you're doing anything, just be creative on it, right? So when you think from a creative angle, that I don't want to copy from anyone, but I want something creative into it, then the only thing which you can do is implementing a newest technology. That is very important. After that, so the product planning is being done, technologies we have implemented, and modern technologies we have implemented. Now it's time to launch the product, right? Launch the product and how to market it. That's one of the point which so many people wants to know how we can help on that, right? So first of all, if I am an e-commerce owner, like let me continue with that e-commerce example of selling plastic bottles and all those stuffs online. If I have to launch that startup, I have to make my customers, the targeted customers, be aware of that something new is coming, and the sellers that okay, something new is coming. Because if a seller is also on board, they'll also market for you, right? So coming back to the point of launching it, you should launch in certain manner. Nowadays it is very easy to launch. You don't need to spend much amount on launching, because you can go on Facebook live, you can go on YouTube live like this, you can invite some people to come and listen to you of launching, you can share it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, tag different people. There are so many things which you can do. Initially it was not there, like 10 years back nothing was there, but today you have this option to go and tell the people about what exactly you are doing, what problem you are solving. That is the major thing, that which is going to help you in understanding the people, because you are launching the new business. People might not be aware of your business. You are aware of it because you are working on this from last 1 year, but everybody is not. So you here comes into the marketing part. What is that thing which will help you to tell the people in about your product in a very less time? So in our business it says that if you can pitch your product in 20 seconds. So initially elevator pitch was of 30 seconds, I make it of 20 seconds. If you can pitch your product in 20 seconds, or if you can explain someone and convince someone in 20 seconds that why your business is important and how it can be beneficial for end user, then you have great understanding of your business. So this is another point, right? Most of the people, they start their business, they launch their startup, they don't get success into it. And the reason is, they either are not fully aware of their own business, they either not have full understanding of their own business, they don't have confidence on their business, and they might not be aware of these strategies to adopt the attraction from the audience. All right. So I'll just give you an example how can be a marketing strategy defined. So for example, for this kind of product, what we can do is, we can there are so many plastic markets available, right? We can get their contact database, or we can go physically, right? For some people, at least 400 to 500 users we should meet in person. If you really want to do something really big, you should come on the ground. Don't just sit in your cabin and think that okay, I can create $1 million company. That is not at all possible. You have to grow go into the market and take their feedback, what exactly they are expecting, and tell them and explain them your product. So for example, you are selling into bulk, so you might go to some retailers and tell them, okay, what type of, like, how much you're paying for this bottle and how much the delivery charges, whatever it is. You have to ensure that You are pitching your services with best quality and lesser cost, whatever it is. That will be your strategy, but you should go and tell them, look, if you want this type of bottles, contact us, we will supply it to you at your doorsteps, and then you can make the payments to us. That's what our belief is, right? Because we want to give quality, and we are promising to deliver quality product. One more point from the marketing angle. So how the business runs is, the more margins you are getting out of it. For example, you bought a bottle in 5 rupees from the seller and selling it to 15 rupees or 12 rupees, whatever it is. So there's a margin of 10 rupees in between, which might be your profit. But you don't get this much of profit all the time, right? Because you cannot compromise with the qualities as well. You have to give the best quality to the customers as well. So in India, there are different manufacturers available. Like if you go to Muradabad or uh, Meerut, there are so many manufacturers who are manufacturing bottles nearby Delhi, right? And they are manufacturing great qualities of bottles, cups, and everything in a very lesser cost. So you should go into the market and contact those sellers to come on board so that you can get them orders. That's what the business is. So you are doing a cross marketing. One marketing for the sellers to tell them, okay, this is something which I need, and the customer, okay, this is something which I can provide to you. And for the end customer, okay, they want the design, best quality bottles, well designed bottles, and attractive bottles. They are interested into that. So you should market it accordingly to the customers. Now here we are talking about offline marketing. Now let's come on the online marketing, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, these marketing things, or WhatsApp marketing or email marketing. Just the basic strategy of marketing is, have just convey your belief to the other people. That's all. That's the sole goal of the marketing. Whatever you are planning, whatever you are envisioning, whatever what best qualities your system or your product or whatever you have, you just have to tell to the customer will surely buy it. You can't do push marketing as much. You can do pull marketing. So for example, if you go on Facebook, there is an option of create an ad. So you create an ad for free. Then there is an option to boost the post by paying some amount, 49-59 rupees or something like that, right? So you can boost that amount so that it is reaching to different audience. Is that the only way? Probably no. The other way could be, if we are telling the people, like, okay, to the families, okay, the bottles are coming from their for their kids, attractive bottle with some new features has came up, right? So if you're targeting to their kids, parents might be interested into buying those bottles. If you are having bottles for any event, for any company, like for any event, right? Basically different type of bottles you can pitch to those event guys and they'll buy it. So there can be different strategies. So it should be very focused marketing. For example, I have to approach the CEO of XYZ company. What would I do? I would find him on LinkedIn, maybe Facebook, Twitter, wherever. I would try to arrange his phone number or email. Then I will write an email to him because I want to meet him or something like that. Similarly, you should consider all of your customers like that. If you give importance to your customers, your business will be somewhere else. So the marketing basically is spreading your brand at different places with different strategies coming on board. That's what I would say. Now your startup is done, your marketing is done, you have allocated the sales team to generate some revenue for you. Now, why do we start a business nowadays? So most of the entrepreneurs, they say that, okay, we are looking for the funding. So funding is the common word, especially in Bangalore. When I go to Bangalore, all the youngsters, like, they are into 12th class or first year of graduation, they come, they speak to me and tell that, okay sir, we have a creative idea, we want to launch this idea, and just in 1 year we'll get some funding of $1 million or $500,000, something like that. Is it that easy? It's not. And the other question is it that difficult? I would say no, it's not that difficult. So I'll tell you the internal thing. You are looking for an investor, right? Aggressively, being a startup owner. But do you really know that investors are also aggressively looking at the businesses like you? This is just one thing of connecting with those people and telling them about your new idea. So if you are having that business, you have to find out what are the investment forums available into the country. So there are different investment forums available into, if you find, go on Google, you'll Google it. There are different. Just register your business over there. Prepare a presentation. A presentation is the most important part of selling an idea to the investor. If your presentation is good, so I would say that more than creating a startup, you have to focus on preparing a presentation, because your presentation is a crisp of your overall business which you are planning. So your presentation should include everything, right? Like what, W5H formula, right? I name it W5H formula. W5H is what, how, where, when, who, and how. W5H. If you go for any product and if you can answer these five W and one H, your business is understood to everyone, right? That's what you need to explain it to you. What's the future perspective of your business? This is one, another thing. What's your projection for the business for next year? How much you're projecting, like how much revenue you're projecting, how much investment do you need, where would you invest that investment? All those type of questions are very important, because if the investor is coming on board, maybe he like your idea, he will. So first of all, let me tell you step by step so that you have a clear idea on how to approach an investor. So for example, your startup is, you have planned a startup, it is on idea stage, and you have created it, and you are about to launch it or launched it, whatever it is, right? And you are approaching the investor. So when you are meeting the investor will ask you certain question. The first question is, what is your startup? So you will tell that my startup is blah blah blah, whatever it is. Who all are there in your team? Why does he ask you this question? Because he wants to understand the caliber of your team. Then you will tell, okay, we are a team of these many members, so there should be a good team. It's not like one guy has started something and that's all. You won't be getting funding on that. They want to fund a team, not a one guy. So you should have a proper team, because one guy cannot do everything. So that's another point. The third point would be like, why do you need investment at this point of time? You must grab some more users. Then you must have answer of that question, because I believe that if we go ahead into the market and get some marketing done or some implementations done, our business should be on another level. This is what we are projecting. Okay, really? So what is your projection on that side? So you should be able to project the figures. Like in 1 month, this much, 2 months, 10 months, 1 year, you should have a clear projection of next 5 years. Very, very important, right? After that, how much fund you need? Okay, I need probably 50 lakh rupees. Where would you invest that money? So you should have that thing in your mind, like where are you going to invest this money? Because that is, again, he'll judge you, like what is your spending methodologies. A successful entrepreneur is only called successful when his expenses are under control. That is very important, right? So he'll understand you overall, and if he gets enough confidence on you, he won't be thinking much. He'll say, okay, let's move on. This is how most of the startups gets funding, especially in cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Hyderabad, these places. There are so many startup conferences happening, and people are waiting for basically people are going into the investors forum and pitching their concepts and getting the fundings on board. I, as an entrepreneur, I would also like to suggest one point here, that if you want to get for funding, if you want to approach an investor, first of all, do a proof of concept of your business. So what is proof of concept? You launch a business, operate it into the market for a few months or so, get some paid users on board, get some transactions on board, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that. If you have that, you will have more options, or you will have more points to demand on that, right? That, okay, I have already have 2,000 users and I've generated XYZ income in last few months. I deserve more funding from you. So you should be talking to the investor not as a beggar, but as a mutual partner sitting on the same level, because business can be done on the same level. That's what I believe in. So when you are, because you are a startup owner, You are not just investor is obviously, we should respect him, we should do all those things. But if you talk to the investor on the same level, the chances of getting funding is more compared to the begging thing. Okay, sir, please give me funding. That is not the idea. That should not be the idea. The investor should come to you and say, okay, I am interested in your idea. How much funding do you need? Okay, we can do this, that. And you should be having a clear picture on what you want to do. That's all. So these are few points which I wanted to tell you about the startup. To conclude with, I would also like to tell you few points, since I've seen maybe all the college graduates are listening to me, or the students who are about to graduate, they are listening to me. So what I would like to tell to you guys is, we all have caliber to create a million or billion dollar company. We all have the confidence to create something like that. It is just a belief on ourselves, and a belief on creating something which is solving a problem. If your idea is solving a problem, it is worth spending time on it and implementing it, and going to the market, because people will surely accept it. Because if you believe that this idea is solving this particular problem which nobody else is, then the idea could be a great idea. That's what the belief you should be having, and the belief should be there until you are succeeding into that business. That is the very, very important point. Because most of the people, they start and they get demotivated. Okay, no, nothing is happening, I might start something else. No, that should not be idea. Because like my story, you might not get anything for next 6 months, but again in 3 days, 4 days, you'll get something really, really good. Then you don't need to look back. So, and since the new government is also helping more, and a lot to the startups, right? So I would recommend one thing, since you all are students, just come and become a job creator. Right, you can become a job creator. Just come and become a job creator. Just think about solving a problem, right? So just let's take an example. If somebody is sitting in village, he is not getting enough education, enough health services, enough anything, right? How can we help them? Someone uh, wants to have a delivery boy. I want to send something from this place to that place, so I need to travel and go. Can I create a concept in which I would be allocating deliveries boys for intercity, and these guys are coming and delivering it to that place, or these guys are doing something like that? Anything creative can be a startup. So my recommendation to you would be, just come on board and start something which is very, very awesome. And our with my company, we have launched a special program for these new students and new entrepreneurs who wants to start the business. We are giving them overall consultancies, how to start, what to do, what not to do, and everything in a very, very proper manner. And we are trying to help the younger generation to do something really, really good. So if you have anything, you can reach out to us. That's all from my side. I would appreciate if you have any question, you can ask me here, or I would love to see your questions if the questions are coming on board. Or if you have any other thing want to ask me, just write it down and I'll get back to you on that side. Now, some questions are there. Tips for startup in IT. I guess I have already given you the tips for startups into the IT. The IT startups are, so why most of the people are starting into IT? There is a reason behind that. Because starting in IT is the minimum investment business with a maximum output nowadays. In fact, you won't believe, big builders. Like, I met with a builder in Mumbai last week. He is planning to start something in IT because he believes that, okay, spending a little bit of amount can make a lot of money, right? So the my tip would be, whatever you are thinking, it should be automating certain processes which is leading to solving a problem. That's what the only tip is. And if it is there, you can create something unique, really. Now, app develop. Somebody is asking about app development technologies. So, like there are two type of app developments happening. One is native apps, one is cross platform applications. So native apps is more responsive, and like for iOS there's a native platform, native application is being developed, and for Android a native application is being developed. But nowadays cross platform technology is also there. Just create one app and compatible for both the platform. So for native iOS, it is iOS technology with iOS SDK, and for Android we use Google Java or Android SDK, right? Uh, so there is a guy, myself, Sohel. Hi, Sohel. I'm already app developer, but need tips to join companies, payment gateways, etc. in app development field and IT. So I think he wants to do something, some company, he wants to join some company which is doing some payment gateway work, or he wants to implement some payment gateway into his system, something like that. Not clear on that question, but I'll answer it. Payment gateway, different type of payment gateways available. First of all, let's understand what is payment gateway. The transaction which is happening, for example, if you go and pay some amount from Flipkart, you pay through payment gateway. Why? So payment gateway is a third party service provider. There are so many guys who are offering payment gateway. CC Avenue, SafeX, PayPal, these guys are offering, right? So you just integrate that, and for every transaction, some amount they deduct some amount. Like PayPal charges 0 point some percent, 2% of every transaction, and that's how the payment is being processed. So if you want to implement a payment gateway in India, probably you can go for CC Avenue and SafeX. And if you're looking for something for the international market, just go for PayPal without any doubt. This is the best thing. And implementation is very easy because these guys are providing, you are an app developer, these guys are providing SDKs, software development kits, which you can integrate and just payment. So initially payment gateways, it required 3 to 4 days to implement a payment gateway. Nowadays it requires 2-3 hours to implement a payment gateway, because they have created a SDKs and are giving it to you. So you can approach to any company and give it to you. Now, next question is, sir, if I want to start my own company as an app developer, publisher, seller, so from where should I start? Please explain. Okay, so if you want to start as an app developer, first of all, like I said, every business is same. What is your business planning? What's your technology planning? Who all be your customers? How would you approach your customers? If the customers are there, how would you get those things delivered? Like, for example, if I am coming to you and I'm telling you, okay, create an app for me, which should have chatbot implementation, payment gateway, SMS gateway, all those things. So do you have the resources who can develop this technology and all those stuffs? If that is there, then you can start it immediately. So you need two things. One is a team who can do that, or you yourself should be creating some apps to gain confidence that okay, you yourself can do something, and that's how you can create a team and train them and to get it done, right? So that is very, very important. You can start from anywhere. You can start from your home only, because there are certain platforms like Upwork, freelancers. You can get small projects from there. You can, if you really want to, because I know one company, my first company, they started from Upwork. Initially it was Odesk, right? So now they are having more than 700 employees into their company, and there are so many companies like this. They started from one platform and became so big. So you can start from anywhere, anytime, any point of time. Just go and start it, get some business and get it implemented for anything. If I'm giving you certain work, you should be able to deliver it. If you feel that you are confident enough to deliver it, it is the right time to take the risk. That's what I would say. There's one person who has wrote that, sir, I want to become unique, not best, because if I will be the best, then there will all others in best list. But if I am unique, then there is only list name of mine. So what I would say to this guy is, every person has a unique quality, and it is a scientific rule that in your whole lifetime you get 3 opportunities to become extremely big. It is just you have to catch it. Everyone has a unique thing. Like me, I am a software engineer, right? I don't know how to code, to be very honest, right? But my uniqueness is I can talk to the people, I can convince the people more from a marketing thing. Just ask me to connect with anyone, and I can convince that person to come on board as a client to me, right? So you must find your uniqueness. Your uniqueness will be only yours. So how can you define that you are best? You cannot define that, because everybody is best and everybody is worst. You cannot define that if someone is best or not. But yes, uniqueness, you have certain uniqueness in yourself. Just find out that uniqueness and go ahead and work on that uniqueness. Like from college days, I was not focused on coding on computers, but I was focusing on marketing, arranging sponsorship for my college, doing some events, blah blah blah. So I was more of marketing kind of guy. So this is something which I would find out your uniqueness and work on it, and that will take you to some other level, believe me. uh, okay, so the last question for the payment gateway was asked by Sohail Kachi. He wanted me to pronounce his name here. So Sohail Kachi, if you know the app development, just do some research on the payment industry, because future is payment industry. Payment from the technological level, like Paytm, how successful it is also comes into the payment industry. So just come and find out a solution into that and see if you can do something, because you seems interesting. You seems interested into this particular thing. Uh, Now next question is, will be of it. Sir, I have developed an app, PC emulator. Means I can run PC functions in Android. Means Infosys Pune was ready to take that app from me in rupees 32,000. But sir, they are saying that publishers credit will be offered. So sir, if we want credit, we don't want money na. I want my name on it. So money can come from anywhere. If Infosys is ready to take your product, you must try to different companies. 32,000 rupees is very less for that. If Infosys has approached you, as far as I know, Infosys, if Infosys is putting 30,000 rupees on something, you'll surely get 10 times of it from anywhere to the market. Just go, and yes, you must not run on money. So my strategy of doing business is till the age of 28 or 30, you should be focusing on solving a problem, because you already work into the industry for 5 6 7 years. After that, money will follow you like anything. You don't need to run anywhere, it will follow you. So whatever you are doing, you should be working on your name, for your uniqueness. And I am really happy for that, for this guy. I don't know his name, but who has got offer from Infosys. If your college has these type of guys, it is really really good. You must also try this. So I know one thing. There was a technology developed in artificial intelligence, and one of the US based company. So there was a small team of 4 members who created an AI system, right? And there's one company US who acquired these guys into, I guess $5 million or something. So they were just doing it for their interest, and they came up with the concept, and they somehow presented it, and they got this opportunity. Similarly, Flipkart, they started in 2007, right? Now Flipkart, this Walmart has invested $16 billion into it. It's a huge amount if you see it, right? So whatever your uniqueness are, just come up with that, create something unique, and try to go into the market with the newest thing. That's what I would recommend. So I guess questions are done. If anybody has any other question, let me know. I can answer it, or we can close down this. If you guys want to reach me out, you can reach me out anytime through Million Minds. And my name is Sankalp Solanki. I'm founder of Frigus Technologies. You can reach me out there as well anytime for any help. I guess it's time to complete the session. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate your availability and your questions, and all the best to you. To all the students, I would love to see you somewhere where you are feeling proud that you have done something in your life. That's what you should be having. Just be positive about what you are doing. That's all. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.